Hello my friends, Andrew at Microphonic Designs here with another episode of Sound Design from Scratch to Patch in Omnisphere. Tonight we're going to be programming a rise and hit style patch. Let's take a quick listen to what we'll be getting into. Short, simple, to the point. As always, before we get started, be sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a like on this video. I appreciate that support so much. Now let's get started. So here we are once again with an initialized patch in Omnisphere, and I've got an idea for a sound that just hit me. I sat down to record and wasn't too sure like what I was gonna do, so I just sort of tinkered around with some of the presets that come in Omnisphere, and then got inspired to do a particular type of sound. So let's dig into this. The first thing I want to do is check out the noise. We all know what that is. And I'm wondering what this is going to sound like. So that's not quite as much rumble as I was hoping for. So maybe we need to pull in a sample, and we can search pink noise maybe. Here we go. That's a little better. I really want to bring out that low end that's there. A little resonance helps with that. Okay, doing good so far. So, okay, I'm just tooling around with the cutoff and resonance. All right, let me buckle down and actually get to work here. All right, and that's a fine example of where it's real easy to just get lost in this stuff sometimes. I'm just sitting here and just tweaking with the knobs on, just a basic sound like some pink noise. But we'll do that, and we're gonna come in here and adjust the filter. So want that to be real short. Real short. Okay. There we go. And then this amp, and actually I think I'm gonna need to insert a point, because I want the amp to grow in, and then so we'll do this. What's the tempo on the project? Standard 120. Yeah, we'll do that just for now. We'll sync these, and we'll use the project tempo just to sort of get the idea for this down, which is to basically have a build up of sound, and then on that next downbeat, so here with the envelope in sync with the DAW, and maybe we don't want it to be a full, maybe we'll just do 2. So let me lock these together, and we'll pull this back to 2. We'll make sure that it's on 2. All right, there we go. Looks good. And then on the filter, we're going to put this sort of spike, and maybe that's what we'll turn it into, actually. A spike. We'll put that on 2. I wonder what happens if we transpose noise. Not quite what we want. So we'll just keep that at 0. And this, maybe we change. I don't want to lock that. I still want that to come down pretty far. The tail is going to be brought in a little bit. almost. Okay, so we're on the right track here. So we're kind of going for a bit of a riser effect right now. Maybe something like this. That's still a bit far up. Pull this down. There we go. Okay, so with this, I want to see what we can't do. So we're going to copy this real quick, envelope preset, and paste it into mod 1. I want to see what we can't do with maybe some reverb here. Maybe that would make this cool, or a little more cool. So we're going to go to A, modulate. I've been doing this a lot lately, modulating the aux send with a one of the modulation envelopes. Oops. So on mod 1, this is going to need to come all the way up, actually. And it's probably going to need to be a pulse instead of a spike. So let's change this to a pulse real quick, because we need a little bit more time to actually send signal to that reverb unit. So maybe this will do the trick. There we go. Still pretty short, so what I might do is pull this out so that that pulse of send to the reverb is a little bit longer, and then in that reverb itself, we're going to pull the mix way up, and I'm going to pull the time way up. I don't know that I like that click in there, though. And I think that that's coming from this here. So you know what? We'll turn this to curve 2. And we're going to pull this point back. Pull this all the way up. And so this should alleviate the issue. Yeah. Okay. So far, so good. Alright, it's getting there. Let's see. And in this case, we do want the high time way up. We'll see what happens if we max it. Maybe not max. Okay. There we go. I just want that real big sound. There we go. All right, so it's getting there. It's still pretty quiet. So over here, I'm just gonna add a compressor to this to sort of bring everything up and kind of glue it together. And that's my buddy Cheech. He usually hangs out in the studio here with me when I'm recording or just working on stuff. All right, so we're gonna bring that threshold way down, maybe to right about there. Okay, very good. So with that going, let's see, what do I have going on here? Mod envelope 1. I think that's looping. Don't want that to loop, but I do want it to sync. There we go. Okay, now what can we do with a B layer to also make this somewhat interesting, right? I'm hearing maybe a sine wave, but this needs to get pulled down, and we'll probably need to add unison to this. Let me mute the A. I don't know. And it could just be that we need to put a compressor on this as well, just because I want it to be kind of in our face. Dynamics. Another one of these. Threshold, pull that back. Pull this back 20. EQ, and we'll do a little, actually, why am I doing it here? No effect, B layer. Is that what I want though? Not quite. Okay, and then we're gonna come into B. We're gonna send this. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I might need to add some grit to this with maybe wave shape. But maybe not. Maybe we'll back pocket that. Because basically what I'm looking for is to add a little bit more impact to where the A layer comes in with this filter where that hits. So that's on number 2. We're going to sync this. And I wonder if we get this on 2. Oops, and that's the filter. That's not what we want. I want to pull this over to 2, add a point. Basically do something kind of like this. So what this is doing is it's going to keep the volume of the B layer down until we get to 2. And I'm hoping that this, once we do this, almost lined up. So why is that happening? What am I missing? Needs to be in sync. Duh. So maybe on the B layer I pull this down another octave. But that might be too far because I can barely hear that. Granted, I got my headphones on, so maybe with a sub it might be different. So we'll keep it as this for now. And then, let's see, on that B layer, what else could we do is add, you know I love my BPM delay. And then we're going to speed that up. Pull that mix in, maybe add to the feedback, and I don't want it to bounce. And I think I want, so let's see, the amp, so this is the A amp. I think I want that to just, there we go. That's kind of cool. And let's go into C layer. This sound is a little more simple than some of the ones I've been doing, or especially the 2 in the first 2 videos I did. I think we've only been going about 15 minutes now, and that's okay, because I don't want these videos to be as long as they've been, so I'm probably going to do a little more editing as well. But let's bring in some noise, and I want to sort of copy the envelope from the A layer. Almost. Copy envelope preset, paste envelope preset, but instead of this trail here, I kind of just want this to just dip out. That's not quite right, is it? Oh, but I don't want that to hold. What to do? This is a tough one. I'm gonna probably have to tinker with this ADSR. Like, I don't know why it's... That is so strange. Let's focus on just the C layer. Okay. Well, what is going on here? Nothing here on the C layer. But when we solo the C layer, it just goes away. Is it because it's not synced? Maybe that was it. That was it. Okay, so again, with the remembering to sync and loop this stuff. So if you're wanting your sounds to work, you know, beat matched with whatever project you have, you're gonna have to sync, or you're just gonna be eyeballing it. And I keep forgetting to do that. A lot of you out there are probably like face palming like I just did. Okay, C layer, and so maybe we don't want it to come that loud. That's... There we go. And then we're gonna take, let's see, what were we doing with modulation? Which layer did we modulate? I can't remember. It was mod envelope 1 on A layer, and I'm willing to bet we can do the same here. So let's take mod envelope 1 again, and we're going to target on the C layer. I want this to go to the reverb as well. So aux-send, modulate all mod sources, mod envelope 1. So there we go. And I wonder if there's a way. So we're gonna do post. I want to add an EQ, studio EQ, and let's make this high pass filter. I don't know if I like that as much. Well, you know what I forgot to look at though, is this mod envelope 1. So this is how much we want it to send. I don't think I want it to send that much. Just a touch. There we go. Very good. All right, and we're gonna look at the effects for B layer one more time. Cool. So I think I'm happy with that. I just wanted to do a quick stinger sound effect, and there's one more thing we might be able to do. And this is Dobby. Come here, bud. Oh. This is my other little buddy. Say hello. Hi. Yeah, he's ready for dinner. There we go. Okay. All right, I got all the dogs with me tonight. Do we want to do anything in D layer? I don't think so, but let's see. I heard a cool voice choir. So we could maybe add some of this in here as well. So we'll use the same sort of shape we did with this amp. Let's see, coffee envelope. And I'm just sort of throwing this in just to see what happens. You know, I may end up just turning the D layer off. We're going to turn this into a pulse. And we'll extend that out. Ooh, you know what would be neat? So in effects, on the D layer, we could actually put another delay. And with this one, we could actually have this one bounce. And maybe we do dotted eighth notes and... I don't know, kind of lame. Not gonna lie. Although, you know, I don't know if I like the BPM delay, but it is kind of cool having that go to the reverb. Adds a bit of airiness to it. There we go, we'll keep that in. Let's solo the D layer real quick. There we go. I kind of dig that. All right, so I ended up adding in the boys choir Oz. I'm thinking that's just some sort of articulation. And this is what the envelope ended up looking like for the amp on that one. I wanted a bit of a pulse on there to make sure we heard some of it. And then in the effects layer, we just did a full-on send to the reverb. And I kind of like that. And I actually took it down an octave as well. I think that adds a really cool element to the impact of this rise and hit sort of sound. And I do have rise and hit in, I think it was from one of the Complete Ultimate bundle by Native Instruments, but it's a lot of fun coming up with my own as well, which again, I was sort of tinkering around through some of the hits and bits category, and he's like, you know what, I thought to myself, why not try and make a bit of a rise and a hit tonight? And it certainly isn't the most revolutionary sound out there in terms of, you know, there's a lot of, you know, there are software instruments that are dedicated to doing rises and hits and all that. But it's a lot of fun putting them together from scratch as well. So I'm going to name this, and I will be right back with you. Gosh, I'm terrible with the names. Very good. So here we have Delayed LowBoy, named after the boys choir sound that we added towards the end there. Just a fun rise and hit style patch that can be triggered, you know, since all of the envelopes are in sync with the DAW, we could change the tempo. We could turn this down to say 90, right? Or we could speed it way up to 200-ish. There we go. Yeah, so it will listen or look for the correct tempo and match itself with that. So for someone such as myself, again, I do a lot of sound design for marching band programs. And with that comes the fact that, well, you know, a lot of the sound effects, well, all of them have to be tempo synced, in sync with the tempo that's written for the group. And this is a good way to do that. So, you know, when I'm designing this type of patch for a sound effect that I'm going to put in with a client that, you know, that's a band program, I always want to make sure that I sync them. And even for music or doing like trailer scoring, musical scoring, or even sound effects for movies or videos, that sync function is just the bee's knees in terms of making it real easy to program stuff and have it match up and line up with the rest of the music. So thanks so much once again for hanging out with me this evening for another episode of Sound Design from Scratch to Patch in Omnisphere. Do hit that subscribe button if you have not just yet. I have much more to come. And leave a like as well if you enjoyed the video at any point or maybe learned something or just dig this type of content. Seeing folks hit that like button for me really is even, you know, it pushes my motivation beyond what it already is to keep going and keep releasing this content. And be sure to check out my website as well for more of what I do. A lot of the website is based around the work I do for the marching and pageantry arts, but as I get more into the sound design and even voiceover, you know, categories of work and area and just sort of that whole idiom, I'm going to be updating and keeping the website fresh with that type of content as well. So thanks again, and I will see you next time.